Omiya Miyahara, that's where I'm at. And we're going to be heading to an off-house hard-off combo. And it's the building on the left, so it's kind of a massive building. I haven't been out here, and it's very near the Super Book Off Bazaar. And their claim to fame is that they're the largest Super Book Off Bazaar in all of Saitama. And that's going to be the following episode. But for this one, we're going to focus on the hard-off. And let me tell you, they had some interesting stuff, that's for sure, as you can tell by the thumbnail. And if I'm being honest, it was definitely a little bit on the higher price. But here we have Halo Reach Legendary Edition for 7,000 yen. I believe, and this is before sales tax, and I'm not sure if this is a tax-free shop. But here we have some original Xbox titles, most of them being Star Wars. We got some Battlefront and then Republic Commando for 2,000. And I think that Halo Reach includes the figure. Then we have the Callisto Protocol. I'm kind of interested in this title. I don't know too much about it, and I'll need to look it up a little bit more. I don't know if it's something I'm going to commit to at the moment, but the cover looks interesting. And then we have Biohazard Origins Collection at 3,000 yen. Some W2K22. Pretty cool cover there. I believe that was Rey Mysterio, if I'm not mistaken. And then we have Forza Motorsports 5. And then Ghost Squad. And then some more 360 titles. And believe me, it's going to get interesting. But here we have Turok for 800 yen. And I believe their pricing with the tag there is before the 10% sales tax. Or maybe not, because that one was 4,000 and this is okay. So I guess it's not. Some of them, it's a little bit of a mix. But Arcana Hearts 3, that's a 2D fighter, and then we have Frontlines Fuel of War. A little bit of a generic cover there on that one, but I don't know. I've never played that game. It could be good. And then we have Contra Dual Spirits for 16,500 yen after that sales tax, and I was expecting I would expect for that one to be in the showcase, especially for the price tag that it commands. And I want to say that's about the average price at most of these stores. And this is like some kind of yoga DS game. There's a bunch of like, I don't want to say shovelware, but a lot of those types of titles on the Nintendo DS. And what the heck is this about? Some kind of business or some Mahjong game. I don't really know. And then Lost in Blue. I think this one also saw a North American release. And I'm not really sure what the whole point of the game is, but maybe a survival type of game. But let's just keep making the rounds here. What are these? The Z-rated games. We got Dead Rising there for 3,000. That's a great game. And then we have Dead Island 2, 8,250 yen. And no way that's that expensive in the States. I mean, I don't really know, but I imagine that's pretty much a game that you can get for like $20 or less in the States. And here we have Mario Kart 8 for 1,100 yen, 1,650 there for Pikmin. And the Metal Gear Solid, this is the 20th anniversary collection for the PS2. And this bad boy was heavy. This one was definitely heavy. And what was the price on that one? 20,000 yen. Before sales tax, so definitely a pricey one. But I'm not sure, is that really that much in demand? Here we have the HD collection for the PlayStation Vita. And then Biohazard Revelations 2. That one runs fairly poorly on the Vita. But it's still nice that it's available for it. I do have a copy myself. And then Kagero by Tecmo. I don't know, is this one of those like dungeon trap games? And then Wing Over. I do like that title. 550 yen. I haven't seen this one before. And I'm a little bit curious. I kind of do want to try that one. We got some Monster Farm 2. And then Fire Pro Wrestling Iron Slam 99. And that dude looks like Sylvester Stallone. Or 96 that was. And then Boogie or something like that. This is the fighting game by Konami. And I don't know if I've seen this one before, but I do love these 3D fighters on the PlayStation 1. I was kind of thinking about it, but I quickly forgot about it as I kept searching through the store. But they did have a heavy hitter here. if you haven't seen one already. But I don't know what this construction game, that game had like a dual stick type of controller. But here we go, Pharaoh 1999. This is known as Power Slave in the West, 3,850. And this one was a bit tempting, but I didn't pick it up because I picked up the Sega Saturn version at Mandarake in Denden Town. But here we have, what is this, Twin Bee? Some kind of puzzle game, and they also had another one right next to it. And what else do we have? Tactical Fighter something. And look at this joystick. I wonder if it was just made specifically for that game. I haven't seen that one in the wild yet. At least I don't think I have. I'm not sure what the heck that is. And then Kowloon's Gate, 1,500 yen. I believe this one also saw a North American release, but I'm not sure who the publisher of that specific title is. Here we have Cool Borders, 300 yen before sales tax. I remember I was playing that one religiously with my cousin way back in the day. Cool Borders and Part 2. And I remember Part 2 and Part 1, they had some pretty good music. What do we have? A light gun game there. And then what is this? Super Black Bass 10. And who's this fellow here? The protagonist of the game. Not sure if he's famous, but probably he does have his own fishing game in Japan. And then Super something Stadium, a baseball game. And then Street Fighter EX Plus Alpha. Look at Sakura's grin there. Reminds me of the Lara Croft Tomb Raider's strategy guide from the previous episode. Guys, I'm just cranking these out. We got Kingsfield 3, 2750. I'm a bit curious about that one. And I believe the Kingsfield game, I think all of them saw a North American release, if I'm not mistaken. We have NBA Jam Tournament Edition for 1650. I was thinking about this one too, but no Obi card, so that definitely swayed me to not pick it up. We have Gradius Portable for the PSP. And then Ghost in the Shell Standalone Complex. Is this like a first-person shooter? That could be good. That could be really good, as a matter of fact. And then we have some more first-person shooters. We have Black, 1650. I remember that one was really getting touted back in the day, especially for its visuals, but I'm not sure if the gameplay can match that. 4,000 for Marvel vs. Capcom 2. I don't recommend the PS2 version, either the Dreamcast, Arcade, or the collection, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection. What else do we have here? Capcom vs. SNK 2. And then look at Allen Iverson on the cover of NBA 2K2. That dude was a beast back in the day. Definitely love watching him play. And then what is this? This is the Bikini Zombie Slayer. One Chambara, something like that. I do have a copy of that. And not a bad little hack and slash type of game. Here we have SBC Chaos for 3,000. The Switch version is now less expensive than the PlayStation 2 version. But I don't know if I'll be picking it up on the Switch. I think I'm content with the PS2 version. Here we have Oblivion Game of the Year. The remaster is out. And then Aliens Colonial Marines. This is the North American version for 1650. I do have a copy of this, and I am going to be playing that one. To completion, we have Ace Combat Assault Horizon. Haven't played that one, but it looks like it got substituted out into a Blu-ray case. Sonic Generations. This is a great game for 1650, although I haven't beat it. But I have played a few levels, and then I'm not sure what this Schoolgirls game is. But then we have, what is this? Wangdan Heat, Dead Heat. Yeah, Wangan Dead Heat, and this is this added stuff. It's not the original release. I think they made the game a little bit easier in that release, and it supports MPEG video too. So bust out that card for your Sega Saturn if you're gonna pick that up. And in this section, there was nothing really notable for the PS4 or the Switch. And very small sections at that. You know. Here we have Chrono Trigger. This is just the box and the manual for 1650. Now, unfortunately, a lot of their boxed games are going to see... you'll see that a lot of them are damaged. Here we have an MSX2 hit-bit. 60,500 yen. And then we have the video pinball model C380 for 10,000. A Dreamcast controller for 3850. But already you're seeing some of that exotic hardware. And what the heck is it? A 60 gig hard drive there for 2750. And it includes the original packaging. A Mega Drive controller for 2,000. I feel that can still be found for less expensive, that specific controller. We got Rockman World 2 there for 2,000 yen. Not sure what the game next to it was. And then Star Wars Shadows of the Empire for 2,000 yen. I was recently playing that one. It's clunky, but you know, it's still enjoyable. Super Mario 64, 2750. And one coming in at 1650, most likely missing the manual there. And Star Fox 64, 1650. This is my favorite N64 game, and it's really the only reason why I'm still holding on to my N64. But we have Wario Land 2, 2,200 yen. And a lot of these games seem to have a lot of notes, and as you can see, a lot of them are damaged. We have Starfy for 1650. I hear a lot of great things about that series. I haven't played it myself, though. And not really sure what this is. For the old Game Boy, then we have Kirby here. And look at the corner there, just all like chewed off. And I think that was what, 1650? And then here we have some Star Wars games. For the Cube, we have the Clone Wars for 4,400 yen. And then Rogue Squadron 2 and 3, 4,950 for part 3. Now, this can be an expensive game. Now, that one wasn't in the best condition. We have part 2 coming in at 2,750. And I do want to pick these up. But they're not a priority. But, you know, this is probably the lowest that I've seen for this game, you know, kind of complete. But it is a little bit rough. If it's mint, expect to pay over 10,000 yen. And I believe the North American version might be less expensive. Here we have a pedometer for the Wii U for 1,500 yen. And let's just keep making our way. Here we have some Super Famicom titles with the Donkey Kong GameCube set down there. I think that one was coming in at 2,750, but 2,200 yen for Donkey Kong Country 2 and 1,650 for that copy, but it was a little bit roughed up. And then here we have Trials of Mana, 2,000. And I'm assuming that's before the sales tax. And what else we have here? A couple of PC Engine titles, some online Switch controllers, and Might and Magic Cloud something. That's a pretty gnarly cover there. And then Alone in the Dark. Look at this for the PC 98. This thing is, look at this. Look at those graphics. It's like the same style of RE. I believe this, you know, well, obviously this one came before Resident Evil. And I believe Resident Evil was first thought to be like a first-person type of shooter. But here we have Snatcher for 6,600 yen. Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon S. Guys, I was thinking about picking this up for the old 3DO. And then we have L-Zone. I'm not sure what the heck this is. Interactive CD-ROM. It says MS-DOS. And then another Sailor Moon game for the PC Engine. Super CD-ROM game. Super Wing Commander. I'm going to organize these for the OCD to, you know how it goes. And then we have Star Blade. 2,200 yen. I do like this version on the 3DO, and I do have a copy of that. Great little game. We have Fighting Street for 4,400 yen. They had some decent titles here for the CD-ROM, the system card. We have Super Darius. And the game next to Super Darius was a Sidearm Special. And that one was also coming in at 4,400 yen. And then they had quite a few Valis games. Now, Part 4 I recently picked up. Been playing that one. And then I ended up picking up Part 3 for 1,650. That's not a bad deal. So, you know, I'm just going to end up picking them all up. But if they're, you know, at a lower price than what you see here, 4,400 yen. And these are also available on the Nintendo Switch, the whole series. And I believe also the PlayStation 4. Here we have the Knights 3D combo, 3D controller combo. We have Yoshi's Island here for 3,300 yen. And that Knights controller set, 13,200 yen. Marvel Superheroes for the Saturn for 4,400. We got Writing Hero for the Neo Geo CD for 11,000. I wonder if this one's any good. I haven't played that one. And then we have Super Sidekicks 3. And this game by Warp, Real Sound, it's also on the Dreamcast. And it adds a few things like a special trailer of D2. We have Last Bronx for 1,650. Then we have Outrun there for 11,000. Always nice to see Outrun. This is a great title, which does have a 60 frames per second mode. And then Baku Baku, highly recommend this game. This is such a fun puzzler. 1,100 yen. This is the greatest hits version, but it does come with the Obi card. I would say that price is worth it, especially for that game. It's so much fun. This is DJ Wars. I've seen this one before, but no clue if it's any good. Here we have Death Crimson for 27,500 yen. This is a light gun shooting game. I haven't played it, and the part 2 has a funky cover for the Sega Dreamcast. Here we have Thunder Force 5 for 13,200 yen. And we recently saw that one out in Sano for about 3,000 less. In Sano Tochigi, we have Galaxy Fight, 4,400 yen. I was thinking about this one, but I'd rather pick it up on the Neo Geo CD. And then Afterburner 2, 7,700 yen with the Obi card. I picked that one up as well. Here we have Valkyrie, 7,700 yen. And then we have Legendary Axe. A lot of these games, like I said, you can definitely find them for less if you search. And you don't even have to search that hard. R-Type 2 for 6,600 yen and 4,400 for R-Type on the PC Engine. We have Get Bass for 880. A very small selection of Sega Saturn, Sega Dreamcast. Almost no games for the Sega Mega Drive. 880 there. Sega Gaga. I think I missed a Ga there, but they had 2 copies of that. And then we have Makin X for 1,650. And I was going to pick this one up, but I completely forgot. We have Roommate Mania 203 and Blue Stinger 880. That one does have English language. And then we have Toy Commander for 6,600 yen. Love this game. I have the North American version. And going back to Blue Stinger, it's just the voices that are in English. Mostly everything else is in Japanese. And then a bunch of Famicom loose titles, loose cards. And then here, I think this is the soundtrack for Valkyrie. And it looks pretty cool. I do have Valkyrie both on the PS1 as well as on the Nintendo Switch. But both of those only have Japanese language options. But the North American version of the Namco Museum has it with English language options. But that one's kind of pricey. 55,000 there for the PS5 disc system. That's going to be the fat model. 22,000 there for the Xbox One S. And a Virtual Boy, 66,000. Now, that seems to be the average price nowadays. 27,500 yen there for the PS2 Slim. A couple of Dreamcasts, 13,200 yen being the least expensive. Another Slim at 27,500 yen. And here's the Pokemon Shrine. What do we have here? We got Pocket Monsters, the blue version, 24,200 yen. 55,000 for the Game Boy Color Pokemon Edition. From the Pokemon Center. Man, those things are pricey. What else do we have? More Pocket Monster stuff. Don't really know too much about this stuff, as you all know, but I'll show it. Somebody out there is definitely interested. Not really sure what the heck this stuff's about, but we got one of these Pocket Pikachu mini things for 6,600 yen, and they actually had 2, one behind this GameCube controller, and it's coming in at the same price for 6,600 yen. I think I found one of those in the box, but I haven't really messed around with it too much. More of a novelty pickup, but I did pay like half that price. And here we have some expansion packs at 5,500 yen. That Super Famicom case at 2,750 next to this Contra Micro Player Retrocade thing for 5,500 yen. But going back to that Super Famicom case, that did sell while I was at the store. A local resident, I'm assuming, I'm not sure where he's from, but Japanese dude, he picked it up. 22,000 there for the AV Famicom. The box is a little bit messed up, but 30,000 here for the Twin Famicom. It is working, and you could definitely find it for less. 13,200 for another AV Famicom, but that's going to be for the console only. And I feel that you could find one for that price in the box, but here we have Outrun 2 Special Tours, 44,000. For the PlayStation 2, and I believe this does support the racing wheel. And then we have Metal Slug for the Neo Geo Pocket for 27,500 yen. I picked that up at Den Town for a lot less than that price. Here we have Snow Bros for the Game Boy, 5,500 yen, and then Goemon for 12,000 for the Game Boy Advance. And that's kind of his rebranding, more action. Big Tournament Golf for the Neo Geo Pocket, 33,000. It's a little bit of a rare title. I don't often see that one. But Special Tours, I really want that. about 44,000 yen. What's that? Kids Gear Virtual Fighter. Can't really see the price. It's covered there. I think it's 6,000 or something like that. And then we have a Super Game Boy 2 for 8,000. I recently saw 2 of those at the Kazo Hard Off. And then Magician Lord there, 99,000 for the Neo Geo AES. I beat that one on the PSP. I picked it up as part of the Neo Geo Pocket Station thingy many years ago. And then here we have some super cassettes for the Epoch or whatever the heck that old school system's called. Some Famicom Disk System games, Akumajo Part 1s and 2, 8,000 there and 2,750. And then a North American version of Mario Kart 64, 5,500 yen, but unfortunately it is faded. And here we have Kadash. Look at this beautiful cover, 11,000 yen. That's also on the Switch as a part of the Taito Collection Volume 3. We have R-Type 2 for 8,000, Splatterhouse for 16,000. And I think, what the heck is this? Square's Preview Extra Disc. Final Fantasy VII, 16,500 yen. And it's sealed. That thing is sealed. What do we have? Strider there for the Mega Drive, 5,000 yen. Next to some Lupin, Castle of Cagliostro. That's a great movie, by the way. I believe Miyazaki directed and animated. And then we have Moonwalker, 22,000 for the Sega Mega Drive. Thunder Force 4, 22,000. Come on, yo. Come on, you can still find that one for 8,000 yen. Not really sure what that cover is. 6,600 yen for that Sega Mega Drive game. And then Super Puzzle Fighter 2X, 22,000. Now this one is pricey because I believe it was only available online. And then we have Biohazard 2 for the N64, 13,000 yen. And then Giga Wing, 22,000. And that's the PAL version. We'll get back to that one, but interesting to see it. There we have Sega Gaga for 22,000. That's the limited edition. And then Mario Tennis, 4,400 yen next to Willow. And then Sonic Riders here for the GameCube, and that's coming in at 5,000 yen next to Kirby there. Kirby Part 2, 3,300 yen. But you definitely want to take your time because I do like the way they have things merchandise here because you can see it. And then here we have Salamander, 11,000. Now, if you get that loose cart, that's going to be far, far less expensive, of course. And then Pat Labor for the Game Boy, 5,500 yen. I'm kind of interested in that title, and I do like that cover. Sometimes you just got to judge a game by its cover, y'all. Here we have Goemon for 5,500 yen. Shenmue 2 with the Virtua Fighter 4 history disc sticker. Then Metal Max Returns for the Super Famicom, 16,500 yen next to Lemmings. I do like that cover art for Lemmings. And then we have X2 there for 3,500 yen, but it's badly damaged. And then 27,500 yen for Dragon Ball Z Hyper Dimension. That's a pricey one nowadays. Mighty Final Fight, 27,000. Now keep in mind, this is the showcase, so everything's going to be super expensive. But we have Vulcan, 5,500 yen. It is missing the manual though. And Casper, this is the second time I see this for the Super Famicom, 6,600 yen. I believe that also had a PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn release. But here we have some MSX titles. We have Salamander and Gradius 2. 16,500 for Salamander and 33,000. I'm not really sure what the heck this is by Enix for 27,500 yen. And then we have some Ultima games. The Savage Empire. Look at that. And this is a Konami shooter. 49,500 yen. Look at this. Konami Original Gamesoft. And we got some loose cards here. Contra Spirits, 3,000 yen, 2,500 yen for X2. Rockman Ambassador Forte for 4,400 yen. And Adventure Cotton, 100%. Maru-chan, something like that. What else do we have here? We got Highway Star, 4,400 yen. Hit select and you get the 3D mode. And then we have a special edition Wonderswan color Char Zaku version from Gundam. And then the Skeleton Blue color for 16,500 yen. I don't know what the heck this is. F1 Sensation for 110,000 yen. What the heck's going on there, y'all? But here we got the Switch Lite. Oh, I'm so enjoying the Switch Lite. What else do we have here? More handhelds. And these are, you know what? These are just standard prices nowadays. Maybe 27,500 yen for the Game Boy Lite. The color you can still find for like half that price. 11,000 for the DMG, 7,700 yen for the original GBA in white. And then we have a 2DS Mario Kart 7 edition, 39,600 yen. So yeah, it's I don't know. What do y'all think? It's definitely higher than average prices here. 45,000 there for the 3DS. But you know, that's why we keep hunting. 22,000 there for a Vita. Let's see, 25,300 yen for another Vita. We got some DualSense controllers. I do want the all black one, and that one's coming in at 7,700 yen. I believe the standard MSRP is 89,000. Here we have a limited edition Dreamcast, 198,000. Next to the PlayStation 5 30th Anniversary Edition, 132,000. Look at that bad boy. Two bad boys back to back. And then we have these Game Boy Advance Famicom editions, 55,000 and 44,000 respectively. They also had a few in the showcase there. But that's going to be the main aisle, the main gaming aisle. But again, you know, there were some deals in the mix. You know, I just like to focus on the more expensive stuff because that's where I'm at with my collecting, if I'm being honest. Everything I want's like super expensive. This is by Fujifilm, but I have no idea what the heck it is, but it's 5,000 yen before the sales tax. We got some DMGs for 4,000, 5,000 yen before sales tax. A couple of other Game Boys and DS Lites. What's the least expensive? We got a Pocket there for 4,400 yen. We got a GBA SP for 6,600 yen, but these are junk units. And then we have a Game Boy Pocket with the camera, the Pocket camera, for 6,600 yen. And that's actually not too bad. A lot of this stuff, you know, can easily be repaired if that's, well, if you have experience, I suppose. But we have Genpei Tomaden, the Genji and Heiki clans. I do like that game, by the way. For the PC Engine and the PS1 as well. 12,100 yen for the PS Vita, 5,500 for the DMG, and then we got a Sony Walkman for 40,000. It's a beauty. It's a beauty for sure, but very expensive. And what do we have here? Some Star Wars action. I'm not really sure what that's about, but 4,400 yen. This store was huge. Let me tell you, it was huge. I didn't even bother to explore at all because I had a lot of other stores on today's agenda. But we got a PS1 here. 3,300 yen. Now, the PS1, it does have a variety of warranty stickers. I have one where it's just like a little circle that says PS1, and that one is far, far larger. The last remnant is a bundle of the 360 version, a 60 gig at that. I haven't seen this before. 5,500 yen for that. A little bit unique. Here we have a black Wii, standard Wii for 3,000. And just a whole bunch of Super Famicom systems. What is this? The game computer? Looking like a PS2 Slim. And just a whole bunch of stuff in the junk section. I did look through this stuff, you know, after filming to see if there was anything worth showing, but it's just the standard stuff, you know, N64 controllers, PS3, PS2, even some PS5 stuff in there. What else do we have? More PlayStation 2, but you know, the junk section was, it was really nothing particularly special about it. They had MGS 4 and 5. Here we got an N64. What's that bad boy coming in at? 5,500 yen. But, you know, let's see. What else do we have here? A little My Arcade 2750. What's that? The Pac-Man edition. And quite a bit of PlayStation 2s. What else do we have here? PS2 stuff. But, man, that 30th anniversary PS5. Here we have some Minecraft, you know, 220 yen for Minecraft on the PlayStation Vita. And these versions do include full English language options. In fact, I was thinking about it, but, you know, sometimes even though this stuff is very inexpensive, if you're not going to play, I recommend not to pick it up. So I didn't pick it up, you know. I knew I wasn't going to play. I'm not really a big fan of Minecraft, but sometimes that's where your gaming budget goes. You buy all the stuff that's really inexpensive, and it turns out that you could have got that one expensive item that you really wanted. But 200 yen here for Mario Kart DS. Missing the manual, but it does have the game. That's a really good deal. I remember playing that one way back in the day online, and that was pretty fun. I'm not sure what the heck this is, but it's for the DS. A lot of that stuff is going to be like hardcore shovelware. Let's just be honest. Here we have some Iron Maiden, the world's greatest band, or whatever that said. And we got some Star Wars flicks. Return of the Jedi. I think they were only missing episodes 1 and... 1 and 4? Or what was that? Yeah, 1 and 4. Those are the only 2 that were missing there. And just a variety of other stuff. But yeah, I was really happy with the pickups that I got. What's this Rocky Hopper? I seen that one before, but here we have a cube, 6,600 yen. And remember, look behind all the stuff. Here we have an orange spice cube for 5,500 yen. And then an indigo for the same price as the spice. But yeah, be very, very alert. Here we have C3PO, 2,200 yen. That's a pretty cool statue next to the Predator. And you can remove the mask. 30,800 yen. They had some hardcore collectibles here. Then we have Samanosuke from Onimusha fame. 3,300 yen. I kind of wanted that. And then Hokuto no Ken, we have Jaggy and Kinshiro. 200,000 for the busts. My goodness. And this is the T800 from Terminator 2, 99,000. Dang, that's pretty cool. I've seen this at a burger shop, by the way. And then here we have another Terminator 2 model, 44,000. We have The Crow, Brandon Lee for 6,000. And then Planet of the Apes action here for 3,500 yen. And yeah, this Samanosuke, that thing looks pretty cool. I should have picked that up. What was I thinking? This is missing the manual, 5,500 yen for Final Fantasy 2. We're back in the showcase. They had Sonic Wings there too. And check out this Game Boy Advance little game rack. Or storage box as they're calling it. 16,500 yen. That thing is pretty neat. But man, oh man, is it expensive. 16,500 yen. But you know what? If I had that, heck yeah, I'm going to put all my stuff in there. And then here we have Kyle Reese starring in Metal Gear. 27,500 yen. And then we have, what is this? The Donkey Kong Game & Watch. The first iteration of the D-pad. And yeah, back to this Gigawing, 22,000. The PAL version. This is definitely a rare sight. And then this thing, this is like a Famicom converter that works with the Game Boy Advance and the SP for 9,900 yen. Turtles in Time, 6,600 yen. But that little adapter, really interesting. Sonic Wings is 6,600 by the way. What else do we have here? Yeah, Breath of Fire. Beautiful, beautiful cover. Look at that, 5,500 yen. And then we have some Snoopy action there for 2,750. Next to that, I'm not really sure, but it's a Capcom game. And then Fire Emblem, 22,000. Is that the North American release? I'm not really sure. Not really sure. And then we have Pepsi Man, 19,800 yen for the PS1. And let's see. What else do we got in here? We got some Zelda. A Link to the Past Part 2. I have that. Super something. This was in the junk section. I bet you that one's going to end up in the junk section too. Summer Vacation 3. Tears of the Empire for 49.50. The Master Collection of Metal Gear Solid, 3,300 yen. That's the lowest price that I've seen. But a lot of decent titles there. And I want to say the most interesting one is going to be Doom 3, the expansion, Resurrection of Evil. 1,100 yen. This is going to be the PC release. Definitely nice to see that. But anyhow, these are my pickups, Afterburner 2 and Valis 3. Let's have a quick look at them. And look how this starts off. Valis 3. Oh man, this is going to be good. You know, I was playing part 4 and I played like the first 2 levels, but I'm definitely going to start with this one. I mean, look at that. What's the protagonist's name? Yuko or something like that? Just throwing herself off the ledge, getting the sword. transforming. Let's go. Look at this. That's a beautiful way to get things rolling. And then here we have Afterburner. Now, the game runs in 60 frames, but I'm filming at half the frame rate, so just keep that in mind. But this is also available for the 3DS, but I'm looking forward to giving this one a go. I used to own this, but now I have it with the Obi card. Gotta have that Obi card. I'm such a sucker for that. But visually, it's a stunner. It is a stunner. And I recommend playing like as much as you can on a CRT, of course. But if you can't get one, definitely get like a gaming monitor. It does make a huge difference. But super happy with those pickups. And guys, in the next episode, it's going to be Super Book Off Bazaar plus another book off out in Kazo. So stay tuned. Ciao.